Welcome, one and everyone, to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings, episode 168? I don't even know. The numbers are sort of a blur today, but the show is live, and we are having a fantastic time. As you can see, you might not have noticed, but as you can see, I am joined today by two fantastic co-hosts over here. They really wanted to come on to Scotch and Smoke Rings because they have a lot to say. They're big fans of the show. Every now and then, these two fine gentlemen will come and join me with some cigars. But right now, they're having some sort of vice presidential debate, and I'm very interested in it. My beautiful wife is in the other room watching it right now. But you know what? I also know that you guys are coming from all over the world once a week, every Thursday at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific, and I'm not going to cancel the show for these two gentlemen. As amazing as they are, I sadly am not going to cancel the show. However, they are more than welcome to join me on this fine program, and here they are. Do you guys have anything to say about the wonderful day?
The objective is almost completed. Now all we're doing is putting the Kabul builder in a position to be able to maintain their own security. It's their responsibility.
All right. Now he seems a little upset. He seems a little frustrated and angry, and I don't know why. But there is a solution for that, and the solution is to sit back with a glass of scotch and a gentlemanly. Now, Bistro says, okay, Bob the Murloc says, I don't know who those two are. Well, they're deep and dear friends of mine, obviously. They're fans of the program. They come by all the time. I tend not to show off all of my friends on the program. I just take the most important ones on. So, these guys are two important individuals. They've come to help us with the show. Now, today, I am pleased to smoke some fantastic cigars. Two fans sent me a bunch of cigars. One is the very good Pat Tegita, who won the competition. Which competition was it? It was the cosplay competition. He sent me a big stack of cigars. Let me see if I can show them to you. Yeah, here they are. I recorded a video of myself opening these cigars. They're on my, yes, the cosplay. Thank you. They're on my YouTube channel. And then I did some voice acting for a buddy of mine named Ian Beckman. You may be familiar with his movies. He did the Azerothian supervillains, among a number of other videos. And as payment, I only asked for cigars. I didn't ask for money. I didn't ask for fame. No. My payment was cigars. So here we go. I'm smoking this one today. Next week I will smoke yours, Pat. They are a fantastic non-branded cigar, which I really enjoyed. Thank you very much. This one is called Classic Cuban Hand Rolled, and I've really enjoyed it. It's a torpedo shaped. It's close to Churchill in terms of size, but it's not quite there yet. Do you guys have anything to say about cigars, gentlemen?
Out in 2014. It's the responsibility of the Afghans. We have other responsibilities.
All right, so they really didn't have anything to say about cigars. They're probably just thinking about something else today, and that's fine. That's fine. Not all of us have to be fans of cigars, but I for one, am happy to light this bad boy up. So there we go. We cut the end here, and I have one match left. One and only one match left. This is my last beautiful match from this box. If you recall, I got this back in April when I went to Bainbridge Island. So I got to make this count. I only have one opportunity. If I can't get this to light with this one match, I'm SOL. Slappy. Otherwise, lame. All right. Oh, go on. Really? Hey! That's what I'm talking about. So, an extra long match for the specific ways you light a cigar. Now, for those of you who were at the program last week, oh, I'm blowing right at it. No! Ah! Oh! No! It totally didn't go out. Yeah, it totally did not go out. Which is why it's still on fire. Yeah, there we go. Alright, gotta do this without talking or else I'll blow it out. Come on, really? 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 Alright, hold on a minute. Lighter? No, 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 no. I don't use lighters. You're mistaken, my friend. Right. Well, I didn't have all the time I would have liked to light this cigar the right way. But it's on fire, and that's important. Gentlemen, what do you have to say about my cigar lighting skills?
Let me try and illustrate the issue here. Because
the issue of cigar lighting?
Really?
Really?
All met with General Allen and General Scaparati.
Right. Okay. Well, they don't really have much to say about cigar lighting, but they seem to be enthralled in whatever topic that they're currently talking about. Mmm. Oh, that is a fine cigar. It's got a very pleasant, woody taste to it. Sebastian Live Gaming says, lol, is he real? No, I'm a figment of your imagination. You are being haunted by the beard. So, get some smelling salts, drink a lot of chili sauce, and hopefully you'll wake up from this nightmare. Tenzakilla says, why the bloit am I even here? Because, sir, you have class. All fine gentlemen who wind up on this program have nothing more than the best of class. And especially these two gentlemen who join me to my right. What do you guys have to say for yourselves? Or left? It's left? Yeah. What do you guys have to say for yourselves?
By trained Afghan personnel. And he's
they seem to be talking about Afghanistan a lot. I don't know why.
The fighting season that Petraeus was talking about.
Gentlemen, we're here to talk about Scotch and cigars. Don't you want to talk about World of Warcraft?
We did not pull them out.
No?
The calendar works the same every year.
All right. Well, they're not really interested in what we're here to talk about today, but you know, a lot has gone on. Like, do you recall recently? I tweeted it. If you follow me on Twitter, World of Warcraft got completely hacked. It was some sort of exploit or some sort of hack or something like that. But everybody in all the major cities got killed. Did you see that? If you go on over to WoW Insider, they covered it extensively. There was some sort of exploit that could only have been done because of Mists of Pandaria. I don't know exactly what they did, but everybody in all of the cities all over the world got completely killed and destroyed. Maybe one of you knows how they did it, because I'm not entirely sure. So maybe you can tell me exactly what happened. Bob the Murloc asks, oh wow, when did that happen? It was earlier this week. I think it was Tuesday during the day. I'm thinking that's what it was. If any of you know exactly what exploit these hackers used to kill everybody in every major city on World of Warcraft, please let me know. I wasn't logged in. I was actually working on a brand new movie when it happened, so I don't know the details. Killed, not deleted. Ghoulbreath says killed or deleted. Not deleted, just killed. There are screenshots of just literally thousands of skeletons in Orgrimmar from everyone just instantly dying at the same moment. Loranica says elves, obviously, indeed. I'm going to have to blame the elves here. Or maybe this is what I have been warning you all about since I released my movie Panda Exterminator. I said, what's going to happen? The world is going to end if you allow pandas into World of Warcraft. Lo and behold, a few days later, what happens? Everybody in every major city dies. Yeah, well, look, I'm not going to say I told you so, but I told you so. Sebastian Live Gaming says, I have the hack. Do you need it? Yes, please. I have a penchant against elves and pandas. Can I target specific races if I decide to kill everybody in World of Warcraft? I don't want to kill everybody. I just want to kill all elves and all pandas. Can you give me that bit of code, Sebastian? Maybe? Yeah, you can? Alright, yeah. Well, my email is brandon@oxhorn.com. Send it on over, and we'll see how many elves and pandas we can kill together, alright? Alright, cool. Well, what do you guys feel about elvish and panda homicide, huh?
Ground. The last thing America needs is to get in another ground war in the Middle East.
Now, I'm not talking about a ground war in the Middle East. I'm talking about killing elves and pandas. There's a difference. Aren't you guys listening? Gosh, some co-hosts these guys are. I don't even know. But you know what we have failed to do today, and it's incredibly important. It's pouring the scotch. This is my glass. This is my scotch. Only a little dab left. So, interesting thing. Last night I was working on one of my new movies, and I set this down right next to my laptop. Now my laptop has a bit of a fan on the side, and it blows out a bunch of hot air. So I left it there, and I didn't touch it for an hour or so. Then I went to get it and pour myself a little glass, and it came out warm. I was instantly shocked that I was drinking warm scotch, but then I actually kind of liked it. Now I know that there are many people who drink warm sake, and I know that there are some people who drink vodka warm, but I have never heard of anybody drinking scotch warm, and yet it was very tasty. So I don't know, I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on this and try and figure it out. Koraka says, hey Oxhorn, you are my favorite. I love your videos. Well, thank you so very much. I love all the fans. I love making the videos. I am so glad you are here today. By the way, for those of you who are watching on Twitch TV, I'm actually streaming live from scotchandsmokerings.com, where you will see a different chat and dozens of other people chatting right now. So if you want to participate in that chat, feel free to head on over. If you want to stay there, that's fine too. I'll read your comments. Korkaz says, I love your Inventing Storywords videos. That is my all-time favorite. Well, I'm glad you do. There are 5 movies total that I made for the Inventing Storywords series. I hope you've seen all 5. And I'm actually working on a semi-sequel to it right now. So cheers to semi-sequels, ladies and gentlemen. Toss88 says, I have started growing my beard out. Do you have any tips? Yes. Unlike my fine co-hosts here, I actually do have a manly beard. They need to class up. It's going to happen, I'm sure. But if you want some tips on how to grow a beard and how to avoid beard itch, and if you want to find products that stimulate the beard, go to growabeardnow.com. All one word, no hyphens. Growabeardnow.com, and you'll be able to see an awesome introductory video. There are videos that show you how to curl your mustache and use mustache wax. And there's even a whole bunch of products for people who just can't grow beards. I know there are some people out there who are just baby-faced for life. Can't do anything about it. It's not their fault. It's genetics. There are 2 products there that could help. There are beard growth vitamins and then a magic beard lube from Thailand. Yes. Yes, I'm sure that is totally trustworthy. Yes. Smoke reading time. I think I got one good one there. But they don't call this Scotch and Smoke Rings for nothing. No, there is a reason. Bad Butt 1990 says, are you Jewish? Nope, I'm not Jewish, nor am I Amish. I am just a guy with a big beard. Sebastian Live Gaming says, where are you from? I am from Seattle, Washington. That is where I'm from. I'm genetically Irish, but nationalistically American. That makes sense. Ostracactus says, Dear Ox, it's my birthday tomorrow. Can I get a shout out? Absolutely, Ostracactus. So glad to see you here today. Happy birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic time tomorrow. Let's see what our fine co-hosts over here say about your birthday.
But not putting American troops in other than to secure those chemical weapons. They're right about that. But what we should have done earlier is work with those freedom fighters, those dissidents in Syria. We should not have...
I'm not exactly sure what he was talking about. Maybe some sort of illegal candle wax, but it sounded important. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Bottoms up. Sebastian Live Gaming says, do the rings again. Well, okay, since you're asking. I hate to show off, but I think I'm going to go show off. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Lepidus of Rune Totem says, watching politics and Scotch and Smoke Rings at the same time. 2 birds, 1 stone. Well, I try to help everybody out. Not very many people realize that the vice presidential debate is going on right now, so I figured I would help them out here. We've got 53 people in chat. That's about 100 less than we had here last week. They're all probably watching this, but had they known that they could watch it with me tonight, because they're co-hosting my show with me today, they would probably be here. It's okay. I won't hold it against them. Cheers. Alok Tied says, what size is that cigar? This is a torpedo. It's not a Churchill size, and I don't know the exact dimensions, but I know that it's a torpedo cigar. The butt is somewhere around here. And it's just shy of a Churchill. Forsaken Rules says, Great Oxhorn, can you please read my question? Had you repeated your question, I would have read it just then, at that moment. But instead, I read your question telling me to read your other question. Alright, I'm going to scroll up and see if I can find it. Don't worry, Forsaken. Don't worry. Oh, there it is. Oh, thanks for posting it again. I didn't want to have to scroll up. Forsaken Rules asks, Hey Ox, I had an appendectomy 2 days ago, and I have been feeling quite ill lately, and I was wondering if you could make this show very entertaining to cheer me up. I don't mean to spam. Okay, now hold on a minute. I could possibly say something very offensive right now, or I could be accused of not being sensitive. The reason is because I don't know what an appendectomy means. Now, I know what appendicitis is. Is that removing your appendix? But I thought that was called an appendixectomy. Am I getting it removed? Oh, it is getting your appendix removed. Right. Now, the reason I was about to tread in dangerous waters is because I saw the word panda in there, and I thought you meant that you had had your panda removed, which is good. I would have said, congratulations, you finally removed your panda. You excised it from your being. You cut into the flesh and removed that evil panda from causing any more damage. But then I realized you're talking about your appendix, which... Yeah, well, I'm glad that you survived. Appendixes, being ill, are bad. So I'm glad you're feeling better. True story, I still have my appendix, and I don't really know what it's doing there. Sometimes I hear it at night whispering, and I think it's conspiring against me. So I'm tempted to go and have my own appendectomy, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, gentlemen, what do you have to say about appendectomies, huh?
Religious liberties of this country. They're infringing upon our first freedom, the freedom of religion, by infringing on Catholic charities, Catholic churches, Catholic hospitals.
Okay. Well, he's not really talking about appendixes or surgery right now. So, guess I'll just drink a little scotch. Cheers. Bottoms up. Ah, yes, Unwillex says growabeardnow.com. Thank you very much, Unwillex. You linked it to everybody. That is correct. Koraka says, pandas are stupid. I'm all about the orcs and Taurans. Amen to that, my fellow hordling. Wait, is there like some sort of horde salute that we can do? Loktaro Gar, right? So, for those of you who don't know, I am Horde, and I am unashamed. If you're not playing Horde, you're playing wrong. Anyway, I too am not very fond of pandas, which is why I made a movie called The Panda Exterminator. If you haven't seen it yet, go to the big Google machine, type in The Panda Exterminator. It's like the very first result. Loranica says, stash? I was tempted to curl up my mustache today. I really was. I just haven't done it yet. It's still long. So as you can see, I kind of trimmed up in here. I didn't really want a bunch of mustache tusks. But this is still very long. I can curl it on up, but I need mustache wax to do it appropriately, which I do not have. So maybe next week, if I'm reminded. Maybe next week. Alright, no, I didn't tell you guys. Whoops, sorry. Alright, so for those on Twitch TV, I didn't mean to ban you from talking Sebastian Live Gaming. That was an accident. But I don't want... Yeah, okay, so I'm going to have to do this. Sorry for that, Unwillex. I don't want people sending other links, especially links about hacking, in chat. So feel free to stay and watch. Feel free to show links to YouTube and stuff like that. But no links to hacking, no links to anything suspicious. So, you can't talk for 600 seconds. I'm still sorry about that. I didn't know it would do it, but I didn't know another way to remove your link. So, that's the only thing right there. Anyway, so for those who don't know, we are on ScotchandSmokerings.com right now with our two co-hosts, drinking scotch, smoking cigars, and I'm answering questions. Greg Hartung says, Blizzard has referenced you again in Mists of Pandaria. There's an inscription called Oxhorn Inscription. That's right, I had a fan send me a screenshot of it on Facebook. Apparently now you can buy an inscription recipe and imbue it with the spirit of the Oxhorn or something like that. But of course we all know that they didn't come up with that on their own. No, that was a reference to me. They've done this on a number of occasions. Mortus is in the game twice. They've got an ogre named Lunk, which is suspiciously similar to my ogre named Thunk. What are some of the other ones? I don't remember all of them. But they have made reference to me many times, which is, of course, fitting, because they should make reference to me. I'm a famous guy with lots of power and authority over the minds of men. Like my other fine fellows here. Nethalo Holy Hammer says, Ox, did you see my question? I didn't. Sadly, I missed your question. I don't see all of the questions that are asked. I will do my best to answer them. Bob the Murloc said, lol, I took pictures next to both Morts. Indeed you should. It's like citing a celebrity, right? Luke J says, hey Oxhorn, what are your thoughts on Mists of Pandaria content? I don't mean to spam, I just want to know your thoughts. Now, in all honesty, yeah, I do make fun of pandas, and I'm not terribly fond of the Pandaren. However, I have been in the beta, and I have to compliment the art. It's a beautiful landscape. Pandaria is gorgeous. The little land on the turtle's back is amazing. The new animations for the fight animations for the monks are pretty great. They're great. The nice thing about it is I can use WoW Model Viewer, and even though I don't have Mists of Pandaria yet, I can still have access to all of the animations that come with Mists of Pandaria. So the movie I'm working on now is going to have some new animations. It's going to be, if I get it done in time, it'll be one of the first movies that are to use Mists of Pandaria content. Koraka says, is Mort the Undead a rogue or a warrior? He's a rogue. He pwns uberleet dudes in their back in South Shore. Yes, he is a rogue. I'm glad you like Panda Exterminator, Koraka. Horde is not cute. ThunderGod91 says, I can't remember where, but there's a child panda in a valley that says, I'm going to grow a beard. Really? Really? If so, that's great. He'll be the only panda I like. If you can find a screenshot of that, send it to me and I'll show it off in the show. That's pretty great. A panda saying, I want to grow a beard. Cold Sugar says, what kind of cigar is it? This is a classic Cuban hand-rolled. Now, it's not a Cuban cigar. Those, as we all know, are illegal to import into the United States. However, this is a cigar that is produced from tobacco that comes from the plant that grows in Cuba. So basically somebody planted Cuban seed tobacco in like Honduras or Nicaragua or somewhere else, grew Cuban quote-unquote tobacco on those islands, and then created cigars from them. It doesn't taste quite the same as a Cuban cigar because it doesn't get to enjoy the land that imparts a distinct taste into the tobacco. But it's still a fine cigar. What? I'm confused. Alright. Which NPC is it that you think are creepy? This is odd says, all the male panda children say I'm going to grow a beard. Really? Alright, panda children are okay. Panda adults are not. Laurenicus asks, Ox, what is your opinion on the idea of parallel universes where there is an infinite number of universes, each with every possible scenario? I don't think that is true. I don't think time works that way. I think time isn't circular. I think it is linear. I think it has a fixed beginning and a fixed end. And I think it is the fifth dimension, whereby which everything else lives within it. I don't think there are alternate times. I don't think there are many layers to the world. I think there is one time with all of us bound to it. If that makes sense. Scotch break. Lift your glasses, gentlemen. Cheers. Nethalo Holy Hammer says, I just posted my question again. Did you see it? No, let me scroll up. Scrolling up. Scrolling up. Neck, what can I do? Oh! So anyway, I bought both the serum and the pills. Thank you very much. Only got the pills, no serum yet, so I've been taking the beard pills after every meal for 6 days and no hair on my face. Only my lower chin near my neck. What can I do? Great question. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you? Tell me how old you are, and then I'll be able to tell you whether or not it's time for beard pills yet. Shawarma says, quick, while he scrolled up to make silly faces. Yeah, like, I'm going to scroll back down. I'm going to see the silly faces. It's a futile attempt. Futile. Quick fix to pronunciation on my last name. It's Dagida. Have I been saying it wrong? I've said Dagida, but it's Dagida. Alright. You're 17. Alright, Nethela Holyhammer says 17. So it's quite possible that you are a bit young to be growing facial hair. I started growing facial hair when I was 15. Now, that's only because all of the men in my family have genetically been predisposed to growing facial hair very young. And I take that back. I was born with facial hair. That's right. I came out of the womb with this, so that was a lie earlier about being 15. Just letting you know. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I was saying that some people don't grow facial hair until they're in their mid-20s. Some people don't grow it at all. So I would say that if you really want the best chance at growing facial hair, it may be that you're going to have to age into your 20s before you start growing it. Now that said, the pills are actually really just a male supplement that all men really should be taking. It's not a magic beard growth pill. It doesn't like stimulate the follicles, but what it does do is it gives your body the nutrients and the materials that it needs to be completely healthy, to build muscle tissue for one, and then also to have healthy hair and to promote the growing of hair. It's not a magic bullet, but it does just help you be healthier overall, and by consequence of that, it helps you grow hair. Now again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a pharmacist, I'm not trying to be giving out medical advice, but I just read the labeling on the beard growth pills and that's what it said. So I would suggest continue to use them, maybe until the bottle is done, and if it doesn't help, maybe wait until you're 20 or 21 and then try again. What are you talking about, the real world? Hella Zilly says, what are they called? You can find them on growabeardnow.com. They're just called Vitabeards, I believe. Growabeardnow.com, you'll see a little icon that's got beard pills on them. You can get them there. Cold Sugar says, did you take an overdose then? Yes, I overdosed on beard pills. Vroom. This happened overnight. Vroom. You know, like, what was that movie, The Santa Claus? With Tim Allen? I kid. Oh, those were some impressive smoke rings. Let's see what our co-hosts think about those smoke rings. Did you like those smoke rings, gentlemen? Were you impressed in any shape, way, or form?
Work to get people back to work. Putting ideas on the table, working with Democrats. That actually works.
So, Vice President, could we get to that issue of what ring is a man, human being?
No, they didn't really have anything to say. Well, okay, that's fine. Continue to talk about what you're talking about. Democrats in Afghanistan. It's important stuff. I don't mean to diminish it. But right now, it's Scotch time. So cheers and bottoms up. I'm going to face this way. I want to give them the respect that they deserve. Let's listen to them and see what they're saying. And then nod as if we approve. Here we go.
Look at my record. It's been all about the middle class. They're the people who grow this country. We think you grow this country from the middle out, not from the top down.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, we now turn to the candidates for their closing statements. Thank you, gentlemen.
Closing statements? What time is it? It's 7:30. All right. Closing statements. Let's listen to this.
Say at the outset that I want to thank you, Martha, for doing this, and Senator College. The fact is that
I honestly don't understand how you can have a debate without cigars. if I was a politician, and I have said this on numerous occasions, if I was a politician, I wouldn't do a talk show, I wouldn't have a debate unless I had a cigar in hand. If they wouldn't let me smoke, there's no way I would do that. I want to feel comfortable. I want to have a gentlemanly conversation with the person in front of me. I would bring a flask of scotch, I would bring a gentlemanly cigar, and I would sit down, open them up, offer some to my friend, and then we would have a gentlemanly conversation. There was way too much heat in this debate, right? They just were vehement. They're at each other's throats, and I think that could have been solved with a cigar. Killer Sean 15 asks if I am ex-Amish. I don't know how many times do I have to be asked if I'm Amish or Jewish. I am neither. I have never been Amish. I have never been Jewish. Look, it used to be common for manly men to have giant beards. The great Pastor Spurgeon talked about how beardliness is next to godliness. So I am neither Jewish nor Amish, and yet I am definitely devoted to the beard. Just saying. Thundergun91 says, Brandon, where are your Viking braids like Stoic from How to Train Your Dragon? I am waiting for it to get long enough so that I can braid it. Look, I'll show you what happens if I try right now. I can separate it. It's definitely not long enough to separate. But then it just goes off into these two little tufts. It's still not quite long enough to put it into braids. Ow. Ah. Ooh, that hurts. There we go. So now I've got, like, tusks growing down. Well, that kind of reminds me of that Louisiana show. What is it? Like the Duck Millionaires? Fix that. Come on. There we go. Much better. Anyway, one day when I'm able, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be able to rock some braids. But not yet. Not yet. Killishan15 says, do you even play video games? Of course I don't play video games. I'm an adult. Oh, I kid. That was just an untimely burn. I couldn't help myself. Yeah, I play video games. I play World of Warcraft every now and then. I like Spore. I like Portal. This show is about World of Warcraft. For those who don't know, I make World of Warcraft machinima movies. That's why I'm here on Twitch TV. The fine fellows at Twitch have been kind enough to allow me to broadcast my show here, and to them I thank. Faith says, you're awesome, man. I don't know why I've never seen your stream before. Follows. Well, thank you very much. If you'd like live updates as to all sorts of Oxhornishness, you can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Oxhorn. I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/Oxhorn page, all one word. There's, of course, Oxhorn.com, where you can watch all of my movies and listen to my music. Now, I know that these two guys are very much fans of what I do. They've watched all my movies. They've bought all my music. They're going to buy my book when it comes out, which is why they're here today co-hosting the show with me, because they love what I do. What have they got to say?
And thus concludes the first and only Vice President
Nothing?
debate. The combatants
It's over. I got sidetracked.
and the families coming up on stage.
Right.
I think it's fair to describe this debate as spirited.
Very spirited.
Maybe that's putting it a little lightly.
Yeah.
They sparred over everything from Libya to Iran to taxes to Medicare. And I think it's also fair to say this was an event that was practically designed for social media. We watched.
Yeah, so this is going to blow up on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen.
Up in response to substantive issues, and I think it's fair to
If
say
you're all on Twitter, you should all tweet about this debate and say,
smiling and laughing.
I love them as co-hosts on Oxhorn's show. Or
Looks like there's been some intermingling.
they had a lame performance at scotchandsmokerings.com. I don't know, something witty. I'm not thinking wittily right now. Alright, so these fine co-hosts, they finished their job. Sad, really. I hope they would have talked about more substantive things. Like, why can't we reduce the import price of South American tobacco? Right? So we can have more fairly priced cigars. Or, why can't we remove sake subsidies and give it to the fine purveyors of Scotch? That would be much more beneficial. This is Odd says, hey Ox, does a proper diet help grow a beard? Indeed, it does. I don't know the science behind it, but every sort of anecdotal thing that I have ever read has suggested, pardon me, that eating protein, because your body needs protein, and then taking all of your daily vitamins, especially vitamin D, can really help with stimulate follicle growth. Also, for men, zinc is important. Now, I'm not telling you all to go out and buy all of this. You know, talk with your doctor. I'm not a doctor. But zinc, vitamin D, and protein are all essential to the healthy growth of a beard. There's this one fellow named Jack Passion, I believe it is. He's won a number of awards for having awesome beards. He's got this huge red beard. And if you listen to him, he says that the key to his beard success is to have a healthy diet and to exercise. I've never been a fan of exercise. My philosophy is that your heart only beats so many times in your lifetime. Why make it beat faster? So that's why I don't exercise. But that's what he says. You can take it or leave it. Anyway, so yes, having a healthy diet can definitely help with the growth of your beard. Ryu Wolf Girl says, Sir Classy Oxhorn, would you or have you made a machinima movie of Oxhorn's pet? In essence, what made... Oh, past. In essence, what made him Oxhorn? It should include how he met Staghorn and Mortus. That's actually a really good idea for a movie. I've thought about doing such a movie in the past. I've even written short scripts, and it's something I would love to do in the future. Really? I'll be able to if my book sells well. So there you go. Once I publish my book, buy it, and you may get more machinima movies. Hooray! Yeah. Alright, so enough of these guys. I don't want to see them anymore. Let's see, who else can we get to co-host my show? Me! More of me! Why not, right? What's better than more of me to host and then co-host my show? What do you think about that? Well, I think that's fine. Oh, fantastic. We're all on the same page here. Bob the Murloc says, book, you're writing a book? Indeed I am. I have read excerpts of it in the past. You can go to scotchandsmokerings.com, check on the episodes section of the website, and you'll be able to see that episode where I read excerpts from my book for about 2 hours. I'm actually working on getting the book published by Christmas time. So I'm almost done with a movie that I'm making to promote the book. The book is already getting ready to go to Amazon and Barnes & Noble, so it will be online. You'll be able to buy it in ebook format, also a hardcover, and eventually a softcover version. So stay tuned. I'll be releasing more information about that as time goes on. Lorenica says, Oxhorn, what if parallel universes existed within linear time as the same as our universe, but on a different plane of reality in synchronization with our own? Look, I understand how interesting this sort of idea is. I don't think there's any evidence for it. Killishan15 says, I'm your co-host, bro. It's official. Alright, we've got Killishan15 being my co-host, I guess. Thank you. I am so glad you're here. We definitely need more talent on this program. Maybe I should open up another camera. But what was I saying? I was saying the possibility of multiple universes, I don't think there's any evidence for it. Once there's evidence for parallel universes, maybe I can explore that topic some more. I just don't think that they exist. That's my personal opinion. I don't think ghosts exist. I don't think aliens exist. I don't buy into any of that. Greg Hartung says, if you could get any celebrity to narrate your book, who would it be? Me, obviously. Do I not have the best voice of any other celebrity? Because I am totally a celebrity, right? People know me from all over the world. They've got pictures of me on their refrigerators. That's how much of a celebrity I am. Not Morgan Freeman. He's way overplayed. Maybe Patrick Stewart. Or Sean Connery. Those would be great voices to narrate my book. Sebastian Live Gaming says, can you say what you think about pandas and elves? I have made a movie about what I think about elves. It's called The Anti-Elf Anthem. You can tell by the title I'm not terribly fond of them. Stay away from those crooked elves. They look like women and they smell like hell. That's my philosophy on that. And then the movie I've made about my philosophy on pandas from Mists of Pandaria is called The Panda Exterminator. They chose Horde, but they chose wrong. That's my philosophy on that. So, those are my opinions on elves and pandas. I am not changing my opinion. They are in video form for all to see. Ooh, Yoku1 says, lol, Sean Connery, he beats women. That's not something to laugh about. Really? Does he really beat women? If he does, then I take it back. We don't need any Sean Connery doing this sort of thing. I think I'm safe with Patrick Stewart, though, right? He doesn't beat women. Right. He made a video talking about it? Really? That's a bummer. Oh, James Bond. How far you have fallen. Greg Hartung says, I thought you should know that your reading of your book has inspired me to conjure an idea of a novel on my own. I'm already thinking of a story and characters. Fantastic. And I saw a flyby. Liam Neeson, Perk says Liam Neeson would actually be really great. I would love it if Liam Neeson did a narration of my book. But anyway, in terms of novels, I'm so glad that you're inspired to do your novel. Please do it. Somebody asked earlier, what is some advice I would give to somebody who's looking to write a novel? What this first step is? Sit down and write it. That's all I can say. When it comes to my books, I've actually written a number of books. I'm only trying to get one published right now. It takes time, it takes dedication, and you don't often know what you're getting into until you sit down to do it. When it came to my novels, I didn't know how it would play out. It's kind of like reading a book. Writing a book is like reading a book. You don't know how it's going to end. You don't know what's going to go on in the middle. You kind of discover it as you're writing it. My advice is to do this. Think of an ending. Well, first think of like a theme. What you're trying to do with your book, like the message you're trying to send, what kind of characters you would love. Think of an ending. How do you want your book to end? Once you know how your book is going to end, it's going to really help you figure out how you want it to begin. Then figure out how you want it to begin. Have a beginning, have an end. Once you've got that, everything else in the middle will come. Start at the beginning, and then just work your way through it. As you write, as you make stuff up, you'll come up with some new ideas. Then you'll add that. That will be more of a foundation to build upon for the next chapter. That'll be more of a foundation to build upon for the next chapter. Before you know it, you're halfway done with your book. You've established a mythology. You've probably tweaked the end of your book a little bit. You've probably tweaked the beginning of your book a little bit since then. And it kind of writes itself, honestly. Yoku1 says, what genre are your novels? This is where I kind of have a lot in common with this current audience. Fantasy. I've got a blog, and my blog focuses mainly on theology, politics, science, popular culture. I'm really interested in all of those topics, but when it comes to novels, I just love writing fantasy. I'm interested in writing history as well, because I was a history major in college. I would love to sit down and write a popular book of history. That's a dream of mine. But I also want to write fantasy novels. The novel that I'm working on getting published, which will be ready in time for Christmas, is a nautical fantasy novel. It takes place in a fictional universe that I created at sea. There's also another novel that I wrote that you can actually see online right now, but I'm not going to talk about it just yet. But it basically follows the same formula Tolkien did with the Silmarillion. I didn't copy the Silmarillion by any extent. I made up my own fantasy world. It's basically the genesis of this fantasy world. And then the novel that I'm going to be producing, that I'm going to be publishing soon, takes place later in the history of this fantasy world. So that's the genre that I do. Yoku1 says, you look like you're from the steampunk era with that hat and beard. True, but all I'm missing is the monocle, right? I need a bit of a monocle. I need more brass kind of hanging around me. I probably need a formal shirt with a vest that kind of tucks in and a bow tie. But then, yeah, I'm pretty much set, huh? I was steampunk before there was steampunk, son. That's right. Where's my scotch? Here. Cheers. Ghoulbreath asks, Ox, I'm writing a group of stories that are based on WoW and involve the new set of heroes we haven't seen yet. Do you have any advice to WoW writers or any place other than fan fiction sites for constructive criticism? Honestly, when it comes to writing fan fiction, there's very little market for it. And I know that that's a bummer. But if you actually want to make money writing, you're going to have to completely make your own world. It's going to have to be completely original. And it's going to have to be a spin on something that's been done before, or something that has never been done before, or people won't read it. Nobody's going to go to Amazon.com and buy a World of Warcraft fan fiction. And I know that's painful to hear. I know it is, because I've written World of Warcraft fan fictions. I've written Dark Age of Camelot fan fictions. I love it, but there's no market for it. when it comes to all of the novels that have been written for World of Warcraft, to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm mistaken, but I believe that they were actually contacted by Blizzard Entertainment to create the comic books, to create the novels, and Blizzard Entertainment gets a great percentage of the proceeds and the royalties from those books because it's their intellectual property. My advice to you is, if you really want to write fan fictions, publish them to fan fiction websites, but don't expect to make money at it. If you're wanting to become a professional novelist and to make money at it, write something completely unique and something completely yours. And it has to be about something that you know. This is the #1 rule of advice to any writer. Don't write about something that you have no knowledge about. You have to write something that comes from your own personal experience or something that you have studied exclusively or extensively. Cute little hardcore kitten says, hope to see you next time. Have a good night. Pleasure to have you, cute little hardcore kitten. I hate to see you duck out early, but I understand. See you next week. Anyway, but that's what they say. They say, write about what you know. People are going to be, you're going to be a far more convincing novelist if you're writing about something that you're knowing, especially if you're inventing a completely new world. If you want to be able to convince your author that you have the authority to talk about a new world or about a profession or about something going on in that world, you have to know enough about it to convince the reader that you're an expert. When it comes to my novel, I've never been a sailor, but my father was a sailor. He had a ship, it was called the West Wind. He purchased an old submarine rammer from the Navy and converted it into a Tinderman vessel. And my entire lifetime I knew him, he would go out to sea every season and come back many, many, many months later. So even though I'm not a sailor, I do have some knowledge of the sea, how a seafaring vessel works. I spent 4 or 5 months at sea with my father one time, so I know a bit about the sea. That's what gives me the life experience to write that particular novel. When it comes to fantasy, the foundation for fantasy is history and mythology. Even though you may not live in a fantasy world that you're inventing, if you have knowledge of both history, particularly classical history and biblical history, and mythology, again, particularly Celtic history, Celtic mythology, Norse mythology, and classical Greek mythology, you're going to have a good enough foundation to write fantasy. Basically, look at Tolkien. What was Tolkien? He was a professor. I believe he taught... What did he teach again? It was English, wasn't it? But he knew mythology. C.S. Lewis also wrote wonderful fantasy stories, but he knew mythology. He once said that his favorite mythology was Norse mythology. He loved Celtic mythology, and one of his least favorite mythologies was Jewish mythology, which is why it makes such great history, because it's more history than it is mythology. That was C.S. Lewis's take on it. Anyway, I don't know how I got off on that tangent, but that's my advice for budding writers. Beep Beep in a Jeep, great name by the way, says, if you would make an audiobook, I would listen. Thank you very much. My plan is to make an audiobook to be published alongside the actual ebook. Ryu Wolfgirl says, I do not mean to spam, fellow classy chap Oxhorn. Dear fellow man of class, check your mail, my fine fellow. I have sent you a link for the creepy panda spawn who claims he is trying to grow a beard. Alright, let's check this out. I'm going to pull up the whole email machine, www.oxhornsawesomemailserver.com. Alright, now I got to log in. Don't you love watching other people log in live? This is stimulating television, isn't it? Alright, username. Password. Oh, wrong? How could that be wrong? I know my password. Still wrong? No, it's good. Alright, I'm now into my magical mail server. Looking for your email. Looking for your email. Don't see an email. If you sent it to Brandon@oxhorn.com, it may take upwards of 15 minutes for me to reach it, for it to appear in my system here. So I'll get to it in just a moment. What's that? Pandas wanting beards are raiding my show? They're invading my broadcast to steal my show? What? They're going to distract you all by playing a 30-second commercial so that they can steal my beard in the meantime? No! For those not watching the commercial right now, the rest of them are. I know, I feel like a jerk. Tiger2Hunt wants to know whether or not my show is about World of Warcraft. It is, indeed, about World of Warcraft. I sometimes play World of Warcraft while I do this show. I sometimes stream Mists of Pandaria. But more often than not, I talk about World of Warcraft. We talked about classes. We talked about the recent mass hacking in World of Warcraft that happened, I believe it was on Tuesday. So this is on topic, yet I also throw in a few monkey wrenches. I'm enjoying my monkey wrench right now, by the way. By the way, never hold your cigar like this. I don't know why I just did that. This is how women hold cigarettes. This is how men hold cigars. Caramel Chocolate says, there was a hijack. Yeah, these beard-loving pandas invaded my program and played a commercial, an evil capitalist commercial, in order to distract you all while they tried to get my beard. But I fought them off with this brush. And I won. That's right. True story. Bottoms up, ladies and gents. Bottoms up. I love it when people say crass and profane things in my chat. It allows me the time I need to exercise my ban hammer. Banned! Oh! Ha 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 ha! I do love a good banning. Flubba says, you, sir, got some real style going on. Why, thank you, sir. Pleasure to have you here. I'm glad that you were able to see class when it is before your face. My goal with this show is not only to talk about World of Warcraft and fantasy, but also to show people what exactly it is like to have just a bit of class. Tron says, wait, do you ban cursing? I don't ban it, but I highly discourage you from using it. I ban profanity, I ban vulgarity. I don't necessarily ban cursing. My personal MO is that if you're going to have to resort to curse words to form a coherent thought, then you can't form a coherent thought. So instead, use some euphemisms. Nothing wrong with euphemisms. Shocky187 says, top of the morning to you, my good sir. Well, top of the morning to you, my fine Irish fellow.
The great music of the 1920s.
ThunderGod91 says, who got banned and craziness in substitute for... No, crassiness in substitute for classiness? Indeed, we do not tolerate crassness here. We do encourage classiness. It was someone on Twitch TV that got banned. I'm not sure how long the ban lasts, though. Ryu Wow Girl says, or Ryu Wolf Girl says, what is your opinion on JROTC? I have that for the first period at my high school. What's that sound? Oh, that's the music, right. Junior ROTC, I like it. I highly encourage you to pursue it with all of your might, and I encourage you to make great results. You'll learn a lot of stuff in Junior ROTC. I never did it myself. My dad did. He spoke highly of it. But one of the things about Junior ROTC is you're going to have to be able to take orders. It's one of those things where you kind of swallow your pride and you do what you're told. Otherwise, you could get into a heap of trouble. So if you're okay with other people telling you what to do, then you should be all right. It's a fine program. I highly recommend it. Rain Neomac says, Oxhorn, I challenge thee to a beard off. Challenge accepted, good sir. Send a picture of your massive and mighty beard to brandon@oxhorn.com, and I will be sure to show it off on my program next week. And we'll see exactly whose beard is the mightiest. Refreshing my mail right now to see if that email came in, and I still haven't gotten it yet, so I'll continue to check, but I do not see it as of yet. Alright, I'm going to refresh the comments on scotchandsmokerings.com. For those of you who prefer to comment via Facebook, I've got a comment system installed at scotchandsmokerings.com where you can use your Facebook account to make a comment. Thomasina says, Happy Thanksgiving, Oxhorn Nova and young lad Gavin. I hope you all have a great and carefree weekend with your family. Enjoy some fine wine or scotch and have a good long weekend. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and like that. That was very sweet of you. And it's asking me to log in. What? I'm logging in. This is my own website. I am logged in. Ghoulbreath says, pardon me. Hey, Ox. I'm going to be playing the creepy and scary WoW soundtracks this Halloween outside. And the tavern music when kids open the door while I hide in the bushes. What are you going to be doing this Halloween? That's a fantastic idea. All the kids are going to love you. That's a great idea. This Halloween, I believe we're going to a Halloween party. Some friends of mine throw a big Halloween bash every Halloween. And we'll probably go. Last time I dressed up as like a Moroccan guy. I had maracas and a sombrero and a poncho. I don't know what I'll dress up as this year. I'm puffing it too fast, but it was about to go out. You're typically not supposed to puff it that fast, but I didn't want it to go out. Shawarma says smoke ship time, isn't it? It is indeed. It's getting close to smoke ship time. So for those who don't know, every week here at ScotchandSmokerings.com, I blow into existence a beautiful ship made from smoke. Very similar to what Gandalf does in Lord of the Rings, only mine are better. But I based this ship off of your suggestions. So ladies and gentlemen, let me know what your smoke ship suggestions are today, and I will do my very best to craft them with smoke. Ryu Wolf Girl says, Oxhorn slaying Connor the evil panda spawn, who claims he is trying to grow a beard, while Stag somehow epically pones alone the razor-fin quillboar, whilst Thunk sings in Swedish the turkey song. Not bad. Very nicely done. Echoley says, Hey Ox, new to the show but an old fan of your machinimas. Anyway, what cigar is your favorite? Awesome stream though. My favorite cigar is Nica Libre. That's probably my favorite cigar. Thank you very much. Glad you're here. ThunderGod91 says, Oxhorn and Number 2 sailing a top hat fleet, dropping depth charges of gnomes who go overboard to seek the bearded pandas who hijack Scotch and Smoke Rings via their ad U-boat, whilst Stag brings the Vikings from Burke. Very nicely done. Let's see. Loranica says, Ox on a Diamond Derby sailboat in a Scotch sea, partaking in political debate while smoking a cigar and winning all of the votes by offering to banhammer hippies and giving bacon and beard pills to the people. You always slay me, Loranicus. You always slay me. Interesting comment here. Tron says, as a foreigner, I don't see the communicative stigma around English cursing. Where I am from, curse words are words that refer to blasphemy. For example, calling the Lord's name in vain. My personal philosophy on that is that curse words are different depending on the culture within which you live. Our English curse words may not be yours. So what I would say is within your culture, whatever is taboo in terms of saying, be courteous, be polite, and don't use those words. For a gentleman is polite to the considerations of all of those around him, which is why gentlemen never talk religion or politics while at work, yet they are assured in their own convictions on both of those topics. And my cigar is out. Greg Hartung says, Oxhorn and Greg Hartung riding dark wooden death charges as ships riding on the Kun Lai Plains, slaughtering innocent Pandarin in their path while getting wasted on Scoresby Scotch. Nicely done, although I don't necessarily think I could promote being wasted, or even tipsy for that matter. Goldbreath says, Ox and the Lady Nova attending a fantastic Halloween party on a bacon cruise through a sea of Scotch as Ryan and Biden speak of political affairs involving reducing cigars and Scotch taxes as Mr. Evil, Stag, and Mortus cook panda pizzas for all of the fans. Nicely done. I did enjoy that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to end the show, so I'm going to go ahead and pick the one I like best. Again, a really hard decision. You guys always have the best smoke ship ideas. So let's see. I do like the inclusion of beard pills. So I'm going to have to go with Loranicus this time. He usually has fantastic smoke ships. Sometimes there is stiff competition. There was today, but today he won. So here we go. I'm totally not using the lighter right now. You're imagining it. Alright, smoke ship time. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa! Woo-wee! I hope you didn't blink, because if you did, you missed it. But for the briefest of moments there before your very eyes was a smoke ship of Oxhorn on a Diamond Derby sailboat, riding a Scotch sea, partaking in political debate while smoking a cigar and winning all of the votes by offering to banhammer hippies and giving bacon and beard pills to the people. That's right, we are egalitarian here at Scotch and Smoke Rings. We give out beard pills to the people who need it so very desperately. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I hope you saw the smoke ship. If you missed it, you blinked your eyes or something, because it was totally there for the briefest of moments. I hope you took a screenshot to save it for posterity. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings, episode 168. Please tune in next week, same Ox time, same Ox channel, 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time at scotchandsmokerings.com for episode 169. It's going to be a fantastic episode. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, have a fantastic weekend. I hope you guys feel classy and fabulous. And as always, we say here at scotchandsmokerings.com, be sure to stay classy.